Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the I Am Woman show. I am your host, Taylor A. Williams, and I have another adorable special guest today by the name of Adaorah. Say hello.
Hello, everybody.
Yes.
Good to see you guys.
And she is a vibrant spirit. She is just so much. You'll hear about it, but we'll jump right into it, and I'll let her introduce herself.
Yeah. Which camera am I looking at? This one?
Anyone?
Yeah. I don't know which camera. There's a lot of cameras in here, y'all.
This is yours. This is ours. However you like to go.
Okay. Well, I'm Adaorah. I am an Afrobeats singer-songwriter. And so I travel between Los Angeles and Lagos. Mm-hmm. I also work a full-time job. Yeah. So it's basically battling and juggling the two. Mm-hmm. So my life is Hannah Montana.
It is.
To claim that. Yeah.
And we're gonna jump into that. But yeah. So let's start from the beginning. So you're a classically trained coloratura. Okay. Opera singer. Okay, look. I'm bad with pronunciation sometimes.
She got it.
Yeah. But you're a classically trained opera singer at a young age. So can you tell us more about that journey and how that kind of like shaped your musical journey?
Honestly, it was a complete accident that I fell into opera. I was auditioning for this visual performance arts academy in Chicago. And I thought I was going to be singing Beyonce. I was getting my Ashanti songs ready. Y'all ain't ready for that. And then they're like, read sheet music and we're going to play you Mozart. And I was like, excuse me?
Right. Come again?
Literally come again. So they basically told me I need to get a vocal coach and I need to study sheet music and then come back and re-audition. So I did. I got into the academy and that is kind of how my opera life started. I sang in different languages, so French, Italian, German. My favorite musical, because we always had recitals, and I used to love singing Queen of the Night by Mozart, or otherwise known as Adaorah. I think we talked about this. Yeah, we did a little bit of that. And it was just amazing, and you've heard it probably, crazy notes and everything, and it's in German, so that was really fun. But then I realized I don't want to do opera for the rest of my life. I feel like it's very niche, not a huge calling for it, and my passion was more in R&B, soul, pop. So that's when I merged into R&B, soul, pop, and then a few years ago I was like, that's cool, but I'm gonna find myself. So
exactly.
That's how I fell into Afrobeats. I just love it. So yeah.
Okay, so that's at a point when you knew I have a love for Afrobeats.
Yes, this is my vibe. And I'm from Nigeria too. Right. So it was just the perfect meetup, I guess, of genres. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So you were hitting those Mariah Carey notes before you were even jumping into, and some people would say you'd have to ease into that, but you actually started off at a young age and just...
It was the training, I didn't know what I was capable of. And then once I got with my vocal coach, I was like, oh, and she's like, girl, you can hit this note. And then we started training in that key for a long time. So it was fun.
So cool. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that kind of drew you to explore the Afrobeat side, after you were just okay, this is, cool, but I need to see where I really need to own in. Okay, nice. Yeah. So you've worked with top producers like Spells and Gospel on the Beats, Andre Vibes. So how have these collaborations influenced your musical growth as an artist and journey?
Yeah, I think that working with different producers brings out a different side of you. Working with Andre Vibes, that was my first ever single that I released in Afrobeats. And Andre Vibes is the same person who did Calm Down by Rema.
Yes, right.
And so it was just really cool working with him. He's just young and contemporary and likes to try new sounds. So we had a blast. And then Gospel was more traditional. Gospel's been in the game for a long time. And so I feel working with him, it was... he made you channel your inner emotions and stuff, and all the music was very vibey and beachy and just feel good. And then Spells is one of the OGs in the game.
Yeah.
Like, he's worked for all your favorites. Burna Boy, Davido, Wizkid, everybody.
Yeah, the list.
And Spells does the cool, funky sounds. Like,
Okay.
he's like, let's just try something different today. And I'm like, why are we doing this? But it's always really fun working with him. And me and Spells are really close now. He's like my go-to for a lot of music. But in general, I love working with different producers because it brings us a different side of you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what side have you found to be like your favorite?
That's a good question. Honestly, I feel like I like being a badass in my music.
Yeah.
I like going on there and talking my shit. And so we get to do that with Spells a lot, which is fun. Which is fun.
And the girls, they love to hear that, especially like a, woman empowerment song. Like, we want to hear that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And your music gives me that too. I'm like, oh yeah, like
you.
I can do this with my girlfriend. Like, yeah, we're feeling ourselves. Like,
my favorite song is my previously released song, Time Not Money.
Yes.
And it's literally like, time is money. Like, don't waste my time unless you're talking about a dollar sign.
Exactly.
You know?
Okay.
And we can all relate. Okay.
That's actually what I was gonna jump into as well. But before that, we can jump into your single "Juice" with Spells. Yes. So, what can fans expect from this collaboration?
Okay. This song is definitely a summer vibe. It's giving like feel good, windows down, like throw my hands in the air. But the fun thing about Juice is that it's very inconspicuous. So like when you hear it, you're like bouncing, like vibing, and then you listen to the lyrics and you're like, oh, she talk about taking somebody's man, you know? So,
the underlying message.
Yes, exactly. So it's just basically like this girl seeing this guy and she really wants him, but he has a girl.
Yeah.
And so it's not like she's going for it, but she's like, she can't do the things I could do for you, baby.
Exactly.
You know,
like, I'm a different type of,
give me one night. I'm gonna change your life. So
that part. Yes.
It's
okay,
fun.
I love that.
Thank you.
And like the visuals, do you have any ideas of how you want to?
We're still putting it together.
Okay.
But I'm definitely gonna get some like cutie, some good looking man up in there. And maybe it'd be like a little play-by-play thing. So we'll see. We'll see.
I love that.
Thanks.
So how is that creative process for you? Just thinking about, okay, first I'm going to do the song. I'm going to think about like who I'm collaborating with, the lyrics, and then we'll hop into like the video and then the release and all that.
Yeah, we could be here all night, honestly.
I'm sure it's a long drawn out.
Yeah, so every time I create a lot of my music, I go to Nigeria because I feel like when it comes to Afrobeats, you can't try to do, you can do it in the States, right? Yeah. But it's something about being in the roots of Afrobeats that just changes the vibe. So I go there, they put me in boot camp for like a week. And all we're doing from 12 p.m. to 2 a.m. is just making music. And we do that every day, make as many tracks as we want. And then we see at the end, like, what do we like, what do we don't like.
Okay.
I work with different writers, sometimes different producers in one room. And then after that, we kind of sift through and then go from there and say, all right, this is what we want to release because this is the vibe.
Right.
Working on an EP right now. And so a lot of those songs are going to be coming into the EP. Yes. So I'm really excited. It's going to be my first EP ever. Yes. So it's going to be great.
Thank you. I love it. Okay. Yeah. So that's kind of the process that happens over here in the States as well. So yeah. Okay. Boot camp.
Boot camp, girl.
Yeah. So your previous single, Time Not Money. So it's resonated with a lot of listeners. So can you tell me about the message behind that and like the creative process? I guess we kind of touched on it just a little bit.
Yeah. So the reason Time Not Money, I think, did as well as it did is because we got Michael Cree on the track. And Michael Cree is like he had this hit song called Time Not Money. Like I think it was like the late 80s, early 90s. And it was just like wild. Like all of Nigeria knows that song. And so I work with this this manager who works for Premier Records in Nigeria. Okay. So it used to be one of the top labels there. And he had a connection with Michael Cree because he's under his label. There's a lot of mics in this story.
I was going to say.
You're like,
Yeah.
So Michael Cree was like, yeah, totally down to remake the song. So we got in the studio with Spells. We brought Michael Cree in there. We were vibing. Like, it was such a good time. And after that, we were like, okay, we're gonna like spice this up a little bit, make it modern, put it together. It was fire. Like everyone was like, what?
Wow.
Like this is fire, you know?
Oh my gosh.
And so we had it released, and then we're like, we need a music video. So we got Michael creating the video.
Oh, sweet.
And the video's fire. It's so fun. Money everywhere.
I know.
Yeah,
Like you need one of those money guns.
yes, literally. And like anytime I performed it, people were like vibing because they knew the words to the original song.
Oh yeah.
So that was a really good process, and I think this song helped me break through, especially on Spotify. The music video did really well as well. So it's just like we're going up. Every track is better than the next.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. So I hear that you're headlining a show in Alabama.
Yes.
Ooh, tell me about that.
So I actually had this show last year.
Okay, yes.
And someone saw my work online. She reached out to my manager, my momager. My mom's my manager.
We know about those.
Girl, you know, she be holding me down. And so they were like, we really love Adaorah's work. We want to have her headline this like festival they have in Alabama. I'm like, Alabama is so random.
Right,
like,
I
Alabama. But we worked out the numbers and we went down to Alabama. Girl, it was hot. I do not like the heat.
The South.
Child. And
It's hot.
Listen, because Nigeria is also hot, and I'm like, why? I don't understand. This makes me want to punch the air. But anyway, I digress. So we did the show, and it was so fun. Like, we had dancers. We had, my whole family came from all over the country to come see me. And it was just so much fun. And it was like my first headlining show. So it was like 40 minutes of dancing and singing and interacting. It was crazy, but it was like the best time of my life.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That sounds so cool.
Yes, I want to do it again.
Yeah. So do you have the traditional way of like getting prepared and in shape? And...
Well, what would you say is the traditional way?
I don't know. I'm just kind of like, look, I'm not comparing it to Beyonce, but I know how she goes on like a certain type of like strict diet. She'll be working out from, you know, certain times and meditation, all of that. So
I do a little bit like maybe like a couple months before I was actually training on the treadmill.
Okay,
so like trying to get my stamina up and hold my note because my mic be on. Okay. My mic be on. So I do a lot of that, and then like vocal warm-ups every day, like no drinking or alcohol, like my partying kind of minimalized because you know my voice is my instrument. It is. So I can't be willy-nilly with it.
Yeah.
And then even up to the day, I kind of isolated myself from everyone and just like focused on what I need to do. Yeah, so that's my regime. I think it's gonna get more intense the more shows I do.
Right.
Like Celine Dion does this thing. She has like this oxygen mask thing and like humidifiers. It's crazy. So
wow,
I'm gonna be like her one day.
Okay. So you said you trained on the treadmill. Yeah. So do you ever like have to walk in heels on the treadmill?
I haven't done that.
Okay.
I haven't got my Mariah on yet.
Because it is a lot of like dancing and upbeat like energy you have to have, right?
Yeah. It is. I usually perform in like booties. I think if you notice, a lot of performers do that. It's like booties. They won't do really like spiked heels because it's hard to move in it and you can break your ankle, child. Yeah. So yes, but I do. Maybe I'll try that one day. Do my little heels on the treadmill.
I'm like, I don't know if I heard that somewhere or I saw it somewhere, but
I just know that Mariah Carey, I think it was like MTV Cribs.
Oh yes,
yeah. She was like, "This is my treadmill" in her like 10-inch heels.
That may be it. Actually, I may have just like that may have came up. Okay, so let's talk about Lagos. So you split your time between LA and Lagos. So I know the music cultures are very vibrant and different, but just tell me about the difference between one and the other.
So the difference between Lagos and the States?
Yes.
Huge difference.
As in, like how the music is like received, how it's...
I feel like the States is finally a little bit hip to Afrobeats. But like Afrobeats has been around for a very long time, obviously, like since Fela Kuti, who's like the godfather of Afrobeats. Yeah. And so what we have now is more like Afrofusion. So we throw a lot of different genres like pop, R&B, soul in there versus like Fela Kuti, his music was very political. It was like war cries. It's, you know, very controversial, I would say. And so the music in Nigeria is just like ever evolving when it comes to Afrobeats. There is like an Afro rock star right now happening. I'm hearing Afro country music.
What?
You know, they're trying everything.
Wow.
You know, they're trying everything.
It's definitely evolving, yeah.
Exactly. And so I feel like here in the States, I'm noticing a lot of like American artists are trying to get on that wave.
They are.
But it just will never sound as authentic as Nigeria, especially Lagos, where everyone is hustling and everyone is so creative. Like everyone is so talented out there. It's insane.
Yeah.
And so that's why I love going there, because it's like I can be part of this energy, I guess, you know, that you can't really get here.
Exactly. And what do you think about that? The people that are here in the States trying to, you know, almost emulate what, you know, Afrobeats, Afrofusion. I know. That side I told it all. So,
you know, I think music is an art form that everyone can be part of, right? Just like languages. If you want to learn a language, you learn a language.
Right.
I feel like the original speaker is always going to sound better than whoever is adopting it. But I think it's to share. And it's also important to me, I think, to always give credit to the origin.
Yes.
And I feel like sometimes that lacks, and that's what frustrates me. You know, K-pop artists right now are literally doing anything and everything. You know what I'm saying? Their pop music, Tinashe is the blueprint for them. Now I'm hearing K-pop Afrobeats and K-pop dancehall and so yes, I love that for them. But don't forget who started it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just remember. Same thing with like country and, you know, the whole Beyonce album. So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Black folks started country. Just saying.
gotta remind them.
It's history. Okay. Yeah.
But let's get into just like the differentiation, because I know people say like Afrobeat and Afrobeats.
Yeah.
So can you just kind of like educate me and the listeners on the difference?
So similar to what I said earlier, like Afrobeat is the origin of like African music with Fela Kuti. And he used to have a lot of live instruments, you know, drums and percussions, and it was always just like this live band experience. It's now infused to Afro beats, which is what you hear with Burna and Davido and Wizkid. Like it's all like fusing genres together. I would call it like Afrofusion.
Okay, Afrofusion.
That's what we're hearing now.
Right.
Yeah. And so you'll hear sometimes the original sounds of the drums and stuff like that. But now we have producers who are creating things on, you know, engineering side to create a sound. So that's pretty much the difference.
Okay, yeah. Okay, great. Thank you for like educating me and other people, because I know we can kind of, get it mixed up a little bit. But yeah, so let's dive into the Hannah Montana lifestyle.
Woo!
Yes. So living two different lifestyles, but balancing it all and trying to, you know, be successful within both. So how do you manage to juggle both roles, and what challenges have you faced maintaining the two?
It's hard. I'm not even going to pretend like, oh, I just like, no, it's hard. And I think it's even harder when I go to Nigeria to do my music, because my job doesn't know that I'm like an international like artist, like
Superstar.
Superstar period. They don't know. So like every day I'm just like, hi guys, how are you? Like, what's the meeting for today? You know? And so it's like balancing that act, and like I have a team in Nigeria, so like our time difference is usually about 8 to 9 hours. So the morning to like 1 o'clock p.m. our time is prime time for them.
Okay.
But I'm also working in that time.
Right.
So it's like they'll put meetings on my calendar at work, and I'm like, oh, I'm at lunch. Can we push this back? You know, like like does the client need me on that call?
Right.
You know? And then I hop to my other team like, hey y'all, I got like 30 minutes before I gotta go back to work.
Oh my gosh.
So
cool.
So it's great, because I feel like being independent, being self-funded, like that is why I'm really staying in corporate, to fund my dream.
Right.
And so not a lot of people can do that. Like some people want to quit and just focus on music, which I would love to do eventually. But I'm somewhat of a realist. So I'm like, and I'm an Igbo girl too. And Igbo girls, we don't play about our money. Okay, we don't play about it.
Period.
So, yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Okay, yeah. So I guess just being able to do what you love, but also knowing that the money has to come from somewhere.
Listen.
Like I have to fund this lifestyle and my dreams that I want to do.
Exactly. You know, LA ain't cheap, girl.
It's not.
We be fighting for our lives
at all. So in Lagos, do you have a home and you have a studio? And okay,
Yes, I have a home in Lagos. I usually stay with my aunt who's out there. So she takes care of me. Like she treats me like
good.
such a princess. I love her. Auntie Riri, shout out to you, girl. And so she's like close to everything that I need to do. Whatever I need, she's like, I got you. So it's perfect. And I always have to set up my office, my home office when I get to her house. But I'm like, auntie, like because they always be watching TV and stuff. And I'm like, auntie, please, I'm on a meeting. They're like, oh, what do you mean you're on a meeting? How long would that go? I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I love it. Do they know that you're juggling both?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
But you know, I just feel like parents in general, they just be like, what is this work from home thing that you do? That's not serious. So.
They don't understand it.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're very traditional. So, oh my gosh, that's so cool. And I used to be a huge Hannah Montana fan. So, just knowing you're doing that, that's like, that takes a lot.
Yeah. So. The only thing I'm missing is the wig, honestly.
Like you might have to do a wig in one of your videos or something.
I need to.
Cute, colorful one. Okay, so you've been compared to iconic voices like Wajé,
Yeah.
Tiwa Savage, yes, and Beyonce. So
yeah. You know, because I feel like sometimes my music doesn't showcase my capabilities in my voice. And like we just talked about, like color to a soprano. And a lot of the music is very like lower tone, just vibey.
Yeah.
But I'm bust out with a song that y'all won't be able to hit them notes, but you can sing along. You can hum them.
You said you haven't seen nothing yet.
You ain't seen nothing yet. So it's coming. I'm still trying to pave my way, and just trying out new sounds and different things and seeing what I really love, and then I'm gonna go that way.
Okay, I love it. Thanks. So, who are some of your biggest influences then?
Yeah, I love Tiwa. Wajé, Yemi Alade is amazing. I get compared to her a lot, actually. Yemi Alade. And I love Bloody Civilian, Amari.
Okay, I love her too.
You know, and I love me some Victoria Monet. I am obsessed with her. I want to be her friend.
Did you see her last video?
Yes, I watched it. I'm probably contributed to 500,000 of those views.
I literally remember when she was like underground, but to see how far she's come and just like what she's done, I'm just so happy for her. Because
I feel like she's been told a lot, oh, you can't do it. Just stay in the background. Just write. Like, that's all you're good for. Yeah. And she proved them wrong. She did. And she did it all and had a baby too. I was like, girl! I love her.
Just her beautiful little family. Like,
I know. Oh they're so beautiful. I can't handle it.
I'm just pick a picture perfect. But, yeah. But I want to go back to Rock My Body. That's when I was introduced to your music. Yes, and I saw you perform. So tell me about that. I did see the video, and it was so fun and upbeat. It seems like that's what you want to give in like all of your videos.
Yes, my music is very much, you got it, upbeat, energetic, just giving vibes. I feel like you will rarely hear any ballads per se, but it might come, like I said.
Maybe on the EP.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And so Rock My Body was the first single that I dropped when I came into the Afrobeats scene. That's the one I did with Andre Vibes. Yeah. And it was so exciting because I was like, oh my God, I'm finally dropping and it was received so well.
Great.
Everyone was like, how did your pidgin get so good? And pidgin is like our slang dialect. And they're like, how did your pidgin get so good? I'm like, honestly. And it was playing all over the radio stations in Nigeria. And that's what kind of opened the floodgates of me performing in Lagos. I performed at different festivals. I opened for Davido. I did Ajebo Hustlers. Like just a bunch of awesome artists. And I was like, this is the start of something new. Okay.
Take it to high school.
The High School Musical bag.
Yes. Oh, I love it. And that's one of my favorites too. So
thank you.
Yes. So what are some of your long-term goals in the music industry? And what can fans look forward to from Adaorah?
Yes.
in the coming years?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so many dreams, so little time. I think my biggest goal right now is to sign on a label.
Okay.
But I don't want to sign on a label where it's like I'm selling my soul and just,
Right.
you know, I don't want $1 million deal. I feel like people need to understand that that money is a loan. It is not for you to use. And so I want to do maybe like a collaboration with a label where they can give me a little money on the side, provide me with contacts and their network and push, you know, the brand of Adaorah, but still allowing me to have creative control, allowing me to keep my team that I'm currently working with, you know, things like that. So I would love that because being independent, I am doing everything on my own.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can keep pushing myself, but it's just so helpful when you have help.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, so that's my biggest, that's my biggest thing. And then, I want to tour.
Yes.
Yes, that's
I
my
was going
next
to say, you got a show, so are you going to tour?
Yes, I want to tour.
Yes.
I want to tour both Nigeria or maybe just Africa as a whole, like the West, and then a U.S. tour as well too.
Okay,
so
sweet.
I'm claiming it. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna
Give me another
happen.
year. It's happening
For sure. Yes. A few people are. Well, actually, I don't know if Tyla's on tour.
I think she was.
A few Afrobeat artists, but
yeah, I think she was on tour. I don't know.
have you seen any of the artists and Afrobeats like on tour? Wizkid, Tim's.
I have seen Burna.
Yes.
So I love me some Burna. Ashake. I haven't seen like Ira or Tyla.
Okay.
I have seen Tiwa.
Ooh.
That's pretty much the main ones. One of my favorites right now is the Cavemen.
Okay.
And I love them because they do high life music. And that's what Fela Kuti did back in the day. So they're like probably the closest thing to high life that we have right now. I just love their vibe. Their energy is so fire. And they're so great on stage. So great.
I gotta look them up.
Yeah, they're amazing. I opened for them twice. And I'm like, can I just be your main opener? Yeah, it's amazing.
Look, you might have to like contact them back.
Listen, I'm not playing. I'm about to stalk them down.
Do it. That's what you gotta do. So when you go to any of these concerts or tours, are you like in there studying? Like, okay, I'm gonna take this note. I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
Maybe I can implement that.
Yes. And I love going to shows too that also have up and coming artists because I see some of the things they're doing and I'm like, I need to do that. You know? I feel like my intros when I first started weren't that strong. I just got there like, hi everyone, I'm Adaorah and this is my song.
So like stage presence.
Yes, exactly. And so now I know how to interact with the audience, with the crowd. I know how to, because I can like perform on stage, but like I don't want to see you seeing me perform.
Right.
But now I be looking you in your eye like, I see you.
Exactly.
You see me seeing you. You know?
We see each other.
We see each other. Which is great. And I think also too, interacting in the States with the audience and interacting in Nigeria is so different.
I was gonna ask, how is
so
that?
different. Like in Nigeria, they're just so excited. Like you can tell they are music lovers.
Yeah.
They love good music and they just want to be part of the experience. So I'd be like, put your hands together. They'd be like, they be ready, you know? But in LA, LA people be like, they just be staring.
That's in the club scene too. Like nobody's dancing, nobody's feeling. Everybody wants to look cool.
Yes.
And
everyone's too cool for school. But I don't be playing. I'd be like, oh, so y'all just gonna stand there? Like I bullied them.
Exactly. Like, come on now.
Literally. So, yeah. And I feel like now that people are getting into Afrobeats more, I think they'll appreciate it more.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the other thing is, in LA, if they don't know the music, if they're not vibing with it, they're not gonna F with you, you know? So.
That's true. Yeah. And the fact that you're like bringing a whole experience too.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's what definitely needs to be there for performers. Because I know some performers, they just perform and then it's like, it was mid, but I want to walk away like feeling like something.
Yes. And that's what I try to do. It's like I always try to give an experience when I perform.
Good.
So that you're walking away like, damn, who was that? Like, I'm trying to hear more of her shit.
Exactly. We're a streamer now.
Exactly. So
I love it. So have you had any, I guess, fans come up to you and maybe like say like, oh my gosh, your music like touched me in this, or I discovered you this way?
It's so cool. I mean, it's so weird, but it's so cool. Like, out here in LA, I go out now and people come to me like, oh my God, you're Adaorah. Like, I just saw I love your, I'm like, oh, thank you.
Like my Hannah Montana little lifestyle.
Literally. And I'm just like, wow, like it's so cool that people are like hearing my music and liking it and like seeing me and like wanting to tell me that. It just makes me feel so good because it's like you're working so hard and you're like, does anyone even care sometimes? You know, it's an emotional roller coaster. So that reassurance and it just feels good. So if y'all see artists, if y'all see me, like come and say something because it's like it makes us feel really good.
Good. And I'm glad you're saying like you're open to like some artists will be like, I don't know you, like stay away.
Like you need your fans.
You do. They're supporters.
So I appreciate them.
Yeah, of course. So as a trailblazer in the Afrobeat space, how do you see your genre evolving and what role do you hope to play in its future?
Ooh, good question. Thank you. You know, I feel like music is ever evolving. And so I try to avoid boxing myself and saying, oh, I'm Afro pop, oh, I'm Afro soul, because I feel like people will always expect that.
Right.
I like to make music that makes me feel good, that makes me feel something. So if tomorrow I'm doing Afro rock, we're gonna be headbanging to
Okay, rock on.
you know, like so I think that as people are starting to play around with the Afro X, whatever that genre is, it's gonna leave more room for people who may not fit just into Afro beats, you know? And I think it'll leave room for even American artists to now jump on more songs where we're doing Afro R&B and now we have, you know, Victoria Monet or Normani coming on the track, and it makes sense.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay, I love it. And that's your role that you want to play in its future too.
Yes.
Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you. Yes. It's coming.
I know. So, what are 3 pieces of advice I like to ask my guests this at the end of our wrap up of advice you can give to anyone that wants to break into the industry? Maybe they are also like in between countries and continents and
the first one is just put that music out. Like just put the music out. Because as artists, we overanalyze, then we get analysis paralysis, and then it's 2 years now. You could have dropped that song and you don't know if it was going to be a hit.
Yeah.
You know, it is a numbers game, but put that music out. My second advice would be you don't have to quit your job to pursue your dreams. I'm living proof of that. It's not easy, but it's also not easy to be homeless and not know when your next check is coming either. So I think it's important to be smart about it, right? A lot of people come to LA with dreams, and then those dreams, you know, dissipate, and now they're going back home. So do that. And then number 3, I don't want to give like general advice. Like, believe in yourself.
Yeah, I know. Like anything, because some people need to hear that. Like, dang, I
think
stumped.
Surround yourself with people who believe in you more than you believe in yourself. I think that's a big one.
That is a big one.
Yeah, because there are days when I feel on top of the world, and then there are days where I'm just like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous, you know? So it's so great to surround yourself with people who are positive, speaking positivity into your life, speaking affirmation into your life, reminding you how much of a bad bitch you are, you know? And are rooting for you.
Yes.
I think there's a lot of competition in our space as being artists, and it's hard sometimes to tell who's really rooting for you or who's just rooting for you so that they can join the ride and benefit.
Exactly.
So I think that's a good support base is very important.
Yeah. No, those are amazing. Thanks. I was just listening to a podcast, and they had touched on, this is to your first point, they had touched on, well, she was just starting her business, and you know how you get like perfectionism and you're like, I don't want to put it out unless it's like perfect. But she had learned, she was just like, as long as it's done, just put it out.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't matter if it's like perfect, if it has things that you still need to work on. If it's done, just put it out there. So when you said that, like, just put it out there, like,
true. It's
true.
And I feel like if you think about it, like, I don't know if you remember the song Love Wantinti that came up. It's like, well,
okay, yeah.
But he put that song out like years before it actually, and then it just randomly got viral on TikTok, like one random year. And now like he's touring, he's doing like Tommy Hilfiger sponsorship. Like,
wow.
And he just put that song on YouTube and was like, well, you know, it didn't do anything. So like patience is key because you just never know. Like, people are
Yeah.
so random. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, it's all in timing too. So
yes.
it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely having a good team that believes in you wholeheartedly more than you
I love my
believe in
team.
yourself.
Shout out to y'all.
Yeah, shout out. Thanks for letting her on.
Literally.
Okay, so what can we expect from you? What do you have coming up? I know you have a tour.
Yes. So my next single, Juice, is coming out. And then after that, I'm gonna be releasing an EP, my first
Yes.
one. And then I will be headed over to Nigeria for a press tour, and then I'm hosting my first mini intimate like concert. I would say, you know, we're looking at like maybe 100, 150 people.
Oh, nice.
And I'm just gonna put on a show for the EP. So
love
keep
it.
an eye out for it. It's gonna be lit.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Just like a album release almost.
Yes,
Like
but like
I love it.
an actual show.
Yes.
You know.
And it's gonna be here or it's gonna be in
Gonna be in Lagos. Yes.
Oh my gosh, I'm
I
gonna miss
know,
it. What?
I know. But it's okay. I'm gonna bring it
You
here.
gotta
soon.
put okay. I was gonna say, like, maybe bring it here too. Yeah. So where can we keep up with you? Stream your current songs?
Yeah, all my music is on Spotify, Apple Music, all streaming platforms. You can also follow me on social media, Adorable. So that's ADAOR. You don't put it on the
Yeah.
bar.
We will.
And then yeah, you can just follow my journey there, and yeah,
Her Hannah Montana lifestyle.
and live my hand on my laptop.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
you.
It's
This is
just
awesome.
a beautiful spirit. So I'm so happy that we got to talk. And you can stream our episodes on YouTube, everywhere that you listen to podcasts. And we'll be seeing you in the next episode. Ta-ta.